So, what are the mistakes that many athletes make when it comes to operating in heat? Well, there are a few highly fixable errors that we should unpack. The first, and I think this is the umbrella, almost foundational mistake that cannot be overstated. It's so important. And it's not about failing to hydrate. It's not about what clothes you wear. It's not about did or did you not do your heat protocol. It's something that's very simple but critical. And that is you showing up to your key race tired, under recovered, in a fog of fatigue. This is important for general race performance. I see many athletes wholly committed, training hard, high work ethic, showing up very fit but fatigued. But the challenges of this are amplified when you add the external stressor of heat and humidity. There's no better case study of this than the Hawaii Ironman World Championships. It's the big occasion, the holy grail. This is where athletes train and dedicate their whole year to get ready for performance. But such a high percentage of athletes in that environment have real challenges. And a big part of it is how they show up. There are very few athletes that toe the line in Hawaii with a lack of fitness. But many of them are carrying fatigue, and you see it express in those conditions. Showing up fatigued is a key thing that we want to avoid. And in fact, anything else we talk about today, heat protocols, hydration, clothing, etc., all of that pales in importance relative to just showing up. In fact, it really is an expression of the purple patch methodology amplified. If you want to perform well in heat, you better have the courage to be fit and fresh. That's the one that I want you to think about. Super. That's it. Don't show up fatigued. A second big mistake is starting the race with exactly the same pacing plan as a cool weather day. In other words, stubbornness. This is what I want to achieve. I want to do this time. I expect to swim, bike, and run to this pace. And no matter what is happening externally, environmentally, this is what I'm going to do. That sort of stubbornness is a real limiter for athletes. There are many stories, and I'm going to actually talk about one of the stories around performance within context, racing the race that's in front of you. And many athletes struggle with this. This is one of the challenges of having a time goal that is fixed. Because ultimately, we have to, if we're going to be successful, manage and race the day that our body provides on the day and what the environment is pressed against us. And so a lack of stubbornness and a bit of bravery for under fatigue is two big catalysts for you to perform in heat. A third big mistake is an over-reliance on power and pace metrics over perceived effort. There's a caveat here. I think heart rate can be interesting and important because it is a measure of your internal cost. And so in high heat, we can actually look at your heart rate and really understand, hey, it's elevated, but it's really elevated. So heart rate is a good tool in heat. It's not your driving factor. Perceived effort is important. You are going to feel more perceived effort. Is going to be slightly claustrophobic in heat just because of the environment. And if you are prepared, you can navigate it. But similar to your pace, you might need to manage expectations on your power output, which is a measure of absolute work ultimately, or your pace that you're hitting on the run if you have that external factor. So that's a big mistake of just stubbornly chasing pace, chasing power, and ignoring how your body's actually operating in the conditions. A fourth big mistake is chasing hydration too late. Realize that it is close to impossible to overcome dehydration and subsequent raises in core temperature once they have occurred during an individual race. And so you need to be proactive, not reactive on your hydration. A great expression of this is actually in a really long distance race like an Ironman, where in hydration on the bike, we care about it for bike performance, but in truth, what we're looking to do is finish that bike performance, your 112 miles in an Ironman, not too dehydrated so that your body has the ability to perform close to potential in that run. And so you're hydrating proactively, less for pure bike performance and more for bike into run performance. To cement this, if you were just riding 112 miles and that was the end of the race, it was a time trial, you would likely be absolutely fine with getting more dehydrated in the last 20 miles before real performance decline occurs. But in an Ironman, it can be catastrophic. And so we want to be proactive in this. That's a fourth big mistake. And finally, athletes that just ignore early signs of overheating. It's a big factor. They just feel it coming on and they ignore it. Again, coming back up to sticking to their race plan, not adjusting, not adapting at all. I see this a lot on the run, where folks believe that walk breaks are a crime against humanity instead of what they actually are, which is a performance tool to run faster in your racing. But they stubbornly run with more and more declining form and technique, increase in perceived effort and absolute cost. Thermostat blows, boom, now they're forced to walk. And so ignoring the early signs of overheating are really, really important.